Dope. That's your first Magnetic Field song?
Yeah, and it's still my favorite to this day.
Really?
It's my favorite Magnetic Fields.
Really?
There's just no cleverer songwriter than Stephen Merritt on planet Earth currently living.
He is really damn clever. I will give you that.
I mean, it's a song that's just as sad as it is funny. There's all these clever little turns of phrase through it. It's just a perfectly written
who
lyrical
else
song.
can put the word ampersand?
And rhyme
Twice!
it with itself.
Yeah.
Ampersand after ampersand. You think I just don't understand. But I don't believe it's so.
Come on, dude.
It's brilliant.
How did he do
That's
that?
genius.
How did he do that?
My
I
other
do, I
favorite
love
line
his
of that
voice,
is something like, "See, you tell me about Buck, Butch, and Buzz how they were not like me because."
He coined the phrase "unboyfriendable."
Yes. Tell me
in
that
another
I'm
song.
unboyfriendable. Yep.
Which I also love. He really does have a very
That's
very
Shakespearean.
clever way.
Yeah.
With like creating words and using words.
That's Shakespearean on a level of a word doesn't exist that's going to fit where I need it to fit, so I'm going to invent one, and everyone's going to have to deal with it.
We're going to put accents over all of the words that end with ed and make you say it completely differently.
And I love that the ampersand bit is also like him just refusing to finish that line. And so you're brilliant, gorgeous, and ampersand after ampersand, like see below.
Yeah, see below, whatever. I don't need to. I don't need
a rhyme here.
I don't need to continue with this.
Yeah, just so many levels that are brilliant to the songwriting. So the reason I picked this, also aside from it being the first Magnetic Field song that made me fall in love with them, is it's another example of how I used to find music and really don't anymore. So like I don't usually find stuff through late night talk shows anymore because I'm looking for the thing that I already know I like when I YouTube stuff. So that's kind of gone. MTV2 is gone. I haven't been in a room with cable television in 20 years as far as I'm aware.
20 years, really?
I mean, not that I like sat down and went, I'm gonna find something on the satellite or the cable. That hasn't.
I haven't
really
done that
happened.
for a while, but I have done it within the last 20 years.
Yeah, no, I'm of a generation that just decided to stream everything on my computer, so that's not a thing that's happened much.
I'm definitely at that point. People at work are like, you see that commercial? I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I haven't seen a commercial in a long time.
Yeah. So this being an example of the way I used to find music that has gone the most is I heard this song at a listening station in a record store, like a chain record store. I forget which. It might have been Tower.
I used to do that at Borders, yeah.
And it was another, like, with the Screaming Females and the Butcherettes, where I found, like, two of my all-time favorite acts in one day, because I heard this song, and I heard a song off of Sea Change by Beck.
Oh.
That made me fall in love with him forever. Even though he's been hit and miss for me, too, but...
Yes, Beck is him.
But yeah, Magnetic Fields have had, like, some stumbles, but another band that, like, I will always go and listen to what they have.
I just had another idea for a playlist.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write it down while you continue to talk. Continue.
Well, yeah, it was just that moment of putting my headphones on, thinking that the album art was interesting enough to give it a listen. I had nothing else to go on. It was just a white cover with an eye on it with some colors splattered on it. Giant lowercase I. Let's see what this is about. And that was the first song on I, and it just sounded so good, and the lyrics were so funny, and it stayed with me after I left the store.
Very cool. Yeah, I did that with Andrew Bird.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I found Andrew Bird. As I was just tooling around in the indie rock section and was like, what's this? And I found The Mysterious Production of Eggs.
Okay.
And the cover art is really interesting. And I was like, I'll give it a listen. Mm-hmm. And Measuring Cups came on, and I was like, buying this. Yeah. So I decided that's how I found Andrew Bird is through listening stations. That's funny. That's old. They do not do that anymore.
No, and not to bum out the room, but the way that people generally hear about stuff now is when a robot suggests something that sounds similar. Yeah. So like the guesswork of you kind of relying on your instincts to find things is really just no longer a part of it.
Yeah.
Like you'd have to tell the robot to look for things along the lines of what you're looking for, which is what it would do anyway. So like you're not a part of the process anymore, really.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
So I missed that. And that's now how I'm relying on other people to find my music. So that doesn't like thrill me either. But, it's what we have to work with.
Nice. So, do you want to know what my first magnetic field song I ever heard was? Tiny Goat.
Do I know Tiny
The
Goat?
Tiny Goat went to a birthday party.
What's that on?
I
You know
don't
the
know.
album?
Oh, it's Gothic Archies.
Okay, yeah,
It's
I
Gothic
haven't
Archies.
heard as much Gothic Archies.
Yeah, but it's also him. But I always attributed it to,
yeah.
but it is Gothic.
He's had
Archies.
like half a dozen projects that he was like
Yeah.
the sole songwriter.
Yeah, no,
Or-
but
or
that,
one
that
of,
was
yeah.
the first one I heard, and then I think I may have heard, and then I heard something off of 69 Love Songs. I think
I
it was
love-
the Bunny Rabbit song.
I love Future Bible Heroes just because that's such a great band name. I don't remember anything of their songs, but that's one of the
funny.
best band names, and that had to be at least partly to mostly him.
Should we move on?
Yeah.
Should I save my cute story? Should I start it now or talk about my cute story later?
You do you, baby.
Well, this is my last song,
Yeah.
and it's one of Phil's songs.
Yeah.
And this
Speak
was
of the
the
devil.
song that I heard that made me fall in love with Phil.
Oh. I'm not sure I completely registered that.
How did you not register? I have told you this story several times.
It was the song, though?
Yes.
Okay. I knew it was like that all the time, but...
So check this out. I'd known Phil for quite some time, and I'd always kind of had like a crush on him. I'd never really known he was like our mutual friend had said that he did music. I'd never really heard anything that he had done. But I always wanted to like be closer to you. And I couldn't. I thought you were like very out of my league.
Yeah, we also never lived in the same city.
We've never lived
and for
anywhere
stretches of
near
time we're
each
with
other.
other people.
Yeah, until now. But there was one year. It was during the time that you were living in Greenbush quite a bit. You were living at one of our friends has a big chunk of property, and you were like caretaking up there. And you had gone to France, and you came back. And I think you were living up there for a bit, and it was during the summer.
Yeah, I think they were suffering my company at that point, but I had done some caretaking, so.
And I hung out, and I was like, oh yeah, Phil, like got all like glossy eyed. And then I think you had mentioned that after you got back from France, you had recorded some stuff, and you had put it on YouTube. And I was like, okay, I'll check it out. And was totally mesmerized.
Oh.
And I have told you this. I listened to this song over and over and over again. Just like being very wistful about you and thinking that, I would never get to experience anything remotely like what we have now together.
Worth mentioning, like, there was, like, we might hook up vibes going on that summer.
They happened a lot.
Yeah.
With us.
Yeah.
There were a couple
I
times.
registered it less than I probably could have, but yeah. There were some close misses.
Yeah. Well, I was with someone, and I that's not how I roll.
Yeah.
So I don't roll that way, but I was very conflicted, and like, or you would be really far away, or I would get misinformation about stuff, and
I mean, the amount of times we cross paths over the years is remarkable considering like we never really had reason where like we both had to be in the same place.
No,
it just kept happening.
Well, the other thing is we also always made it a point to like reach out and talk to each other.
We did, yeah.
Like even when we hadn't seen each other for a long time, Phil was like never not in my radar as one of my most best and close friends ever.
And quarantine was so much like all the other times we kind of would start talking for a period of time, and that like there would be a period where for one reason or another there just weren't other people around me that I usually relied on for any kind of emotional support.
Yeah.
So the fact that like I eventually over time I kind of went like, oh, it's always Kim.
Oh, I'm gonna cry. So anyway, this is the song that I remember very vividly watching you play on YouTube in the Lincoln cabin and being very wistful for you.
Yeah. This is a real log cabin with like no plumbing or electricity.
Yeah, no, it has meat hooks on the ceiling because it was once used as a meat storage.
So I would charge my phone and record things for later upload.
Yep. And for a time, I was really angry because I want to go live in the Lincoln Suite. I want to live in the Lincoln Suite, and I couldn't because you were in there, and I couldn't get in.
This was 2016. She still doesn't miss an opportunity to remind me that she was mad about it.
It's my favorite place on that property.
I get it.
It's so charming and specific. Anyway, this is Leaving Paris by Phil Forsyth, my now husband, that I don't need to be wistful about anymore.
Oh, and hey, we beat the algorithm on this one.
We did?
Yeah, because if people chose to listen to our podcast, the robot didn't tell them to listen to this.
It's true. We beat it.
We did it. We did it, everyone.
I'm telling you to instead.